The ground in the Philippines never stops moving. Over 100 earthquakes shake these islands every year. It's not random chance. This is life on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where four colossal tectonic plates crush together, turning paradise into a danger zone. But why here and why so many? The answer is more terrifying and more urgent than most people realize. Stretching 25,000 miles around the Pacific Ocean, the Ring of Fire is the most dangerous seismic zone on the planet. 90% of the world's earthquakes strike somewhere along this belt, along with 3 out of every 4 volcanoes. It's a global chain of destruction that links Japan, Indonesia, New Zealand, Chile, and California, each country shaped by relentless shaking and eruptions. The Philippines sits right in the middle of this ring, surrounded on all sides by tectonic threats. Here, the Earth's crust is not a solid foundation, but a constantly shifting puzzle where the ground can lurch without warning. Nowhere else do so many powerful geological forces collide so closely. The story of life in the Philippines is inseparable from the story of the Ring of Fire, a place where the planet's raw energy is always just beneath the surface. Beneath the Philippines, 4 tectonic plates are locked in a constant grinding contest. The Eurasian plate pushes from the west, while the Philippine Sea Plate presses from the east. To the north and east, the Pacific Plate adds its own force, and the Sunda Plate nudges from the south. Each year, these plates creep past one another at speeds ranging from 3 to 10 centimeters, about as fast as fingernails grow, but with far more explosive results. The boundaries where these plates meet are zones of immense geological pressure. The archipelago is squeezed and twisted by their slow-motion collision, making it one of the most stressed pieces of real estate on Earth. This ongoing convergence loads the islands with energy, setting the stage for powerful earthquakes and the formation of deep ocean trenches just offshore. The ground here is never truly at rest. Every centimeter of movement adds to the tension beneath the surface. 7 deep ocean trenches surround the Philippine Islands, each one a potential source of disaster. The Manila Trench, just off the west coast of Luzon, is capable of producing magnitude 8 earthquakes, so powerful that tsunami waves could reach the shore in as little as 10 minutes. In the north, the East Luzon Trench faces the open Pacific, holding the same threat for coastal communities. The Philippine Trench plunges over 34,000 feet, marking one of the deepest points on Earth and storing enough energy to unleash catastrophic shaking and flooding. These trenches are not distant threats. They have shaped history. In 1976, the Cotabato Trench ruptured, sending a tsunami barreling into Mindanao. Nearly 8,000 people were killed, most within minutes of the ground shaking. For many coastal towns, there is no time for warning systems. Only the brief window between the earthquake and the first wave. The ocean itself becomes the warning, and survival depends on immediate action. Fault lines don't just run beneath empty fields, they cut straight through cities and towns. The Philippine Fault System stretches for 1,200 kilometers, slicing across Luzon, the Visayas, and Mindanao. In Metro Manila, the Marikina Valley Fault sits quietly, but it hasn't moved in over 200 years. Scientists warn it's capable of a magnitude 7.2 earthquake, a rupture that could devastate the capital's dense neighborhoods. In the south, the Mindanao Fault has triggered repeated quakes, shaking cities and villages alike. History shows the cost when these faults rupture. On July 16, 1990, the ground in Luzon snapped along a hidden fault. In seconds, buildings in Baguio and Cabanatuan collapsed. Rescue teams worked through the night, but 1,621 people died and thousands more were injured. In 2013, a magnitude 7.2 quake struck Bohol. Churches crumbled, bridges twisted, and 222 lives were lost. One barangay officer remembers guiding neighbors to safety as aftershocks rattled the ground, the memory still sharp years later. Even moderate quakes here can bring landslides and liquefaction, turning solid ground to shifting mud. The danger isn't just offshore. Inland fractures threaten millions every day. Tectonic plates beneath the Philippines move at a pace barely noticeable, just centimeters each year. Yet, as these plates grind past one another, strain builds up silently along their boundaries and faults. For decades, the rocks may lock together, refusing to budge. Then, in an instant, all that stored energy is released. The ground shifts, sometimes by several meters in just seconds. This is why earthquakes strike without warning. The transition from slow, invisible build-up to violent rupture happens in the blink of an eye. Understanding this cycle is the first step in knowing why constant vigilance and monitoring are so essential. Fivolks relies on more than 100 seismic stations scattered across the country, each feeding real-time data back to headquarters. This network can sometimes give minutes of warning, just enough for a quick evacuation. But the truth is, even with the latest technology, earthquakes remain unpredictable. As one Fivol CS scientist explains, the exact timing of the next big one is impossible to know. Every year, the Philippines records 100 to 150 felt earthquakes, according to PHY50LCS. This relentless activity is driven by the nation's position on the Pacific Ring of Fire and at the collision point of four moving tectonic plates. History has shown the cost. The 1990 Luzon earthquake killed over 1,600, while the 1976 Mindanao event and tsunami claimed 8,000 lives. Despite over 100 seismic stations and real-time monitoring, scientists cannot predict when or where the next major quake will strike. Many faults, including the Marikina Valley Fault in Metro Manila, remain locked and overdue. What remains unknown is the precise timing of the next rupture, as the earthquake cycle is governed by forces still beyond human forecasting. Today, more than 110 million Filipinos live in the shadow of these hazards. The evidence is clear: earthquakes in the Philippines are not random disasters, but the result of deep, ongoing geological processes. Knowledge and preparation remain the country's best defense.